Trump expected to hit Medicaid and Medicare with spending cuts. Former model is eaten alive by parasites in a nursing home. Less than 40% of required nursing homes in Kansas are expected to get surveyed, and a nursing assistant is accused of sexual assault in a Texas nursing home. This and more, next.
You're watching LTC News with Dane Henning.
Welcome to CNA TV Long-Term Care News. I'm Dane Henning. Today is Friday, May 4th, 2018. Congressional leaders say the Trump administration is preparing to propose up to $25 billion in federal spending cuts, which will hit Medicaid and other safety net programs. The so far unreleased White House plan would call on Congress to rescind funding already enacted, and it would be submitted next month, Reuters reported on Thursday. Representative Tom Cole, Republican from Oklahoma, told reporters the administration was originally considering $60 billion in mid-year cuts. He said the president's team is considering slicing mandatory adjustments that, quote, Democrats probably wouldn't like. Mandatory programs include Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Last Thursday, the head of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee told Bloomberg Law that Democrats plan to make health care a central theme during this fall's races. Fox News reports of a former model eaten alive by parasitic mice due to a scabies infestation while in the care of a Georgia nursing home. An investigation into the 2015 death of Rebecca Zaney, 93, revealed she died from scabies during her stay at the Shepherd's Hill nursing home in Lafayette. An autopsy report stated the woman's cause of death was septicemia due to crusted scabies. State health officials were made aware of the scabies outbreak at the facility but did not investigate or inspect the nursing home, the station reported. As a young woman, Zaney was employed at a naval yard during World War II, did some modeling in New York City, and worked for a television station in Chicago. She was put in the nursing home by her daughter in 2010. The station reported citing health records that Zaney suffered from dementia. Dr. Chris Sperry, a forensic pathologist, took over Zaney's autopsy report, believed hundreds of millions of mites were burrowed inside Zaney during the time of her death. When asked if it was fair to say that Zaney was, quote, eaten alive, he said it was likely she suffered a painful death. Records from the Georgia Department of Public Health showed officials were notified of the scabies outbreak at the nursing home in 2013 and 15. The record showed 35 residents and staff were exposed to the infestation. The department did not inspect, but sent the facility information on how to treat scabies. Zaney died 11 days after the response from the agency. We'll be back right after this break.
When you have satisfied and content CNAs, the care is better and you're going to have less nursing assistant turnover.
So many times I think they're just, in the trenches and nobody hears and nobody cares about them, and it's not true. It's simply not true. And this organization helps them gain that voice and helps them be heard.
We're awesome, and I'm going to hold my head high and I'm going to ride this magic carpet and I'm going to change the world. That's what NACA did for me.
For more information, visit us online at nacacna.org or call 417-623-6049.
I suppose I shouldn't be complaining because I have several friends and relatives up in northern Iowa who have it a lot worse than I do down here in southern Missouri right now. The past can hurt. You can either run from it or you can learn from it.
Watch Katie in the Morning with Katie Page, weekdays, 10 a.m. Central.
McKnight's Long-Term Care News reported last week that many skilled nursing facilities in Kansas are going without annual inspections, with survey completion expected to remain below the 40% mark this year. State officials have blamed the shortfall on 17 vacancies in its 16-person staff, but rates have been in a free fall since 2015 when state employees completed about 79% of required surveys. The Topeka Capital Journal reported that Kansas completed 63% in 2016 and just 35% last year. Annual inspections by the Kansas Department for Aging and Disability Services are required as part of the state's participation in the federal Medicare and Medicaid programs. It's a public safety problem. We are not in compliance. State Senator Vicki Schmidt, Republican from Topeka, said during a meeting on Monday of the House and Senate committee responsible for Medicaid oversight. Department Security Tim Keck pointed to high complaint rates and staff vacancies for the poor survey completion rate. He said higher salaries would attract more job candidates. He said, quote, "That number won't come down overnight. We just need more people to do surveys." Harlingen police arrested a certified nursing assistant after an employee accused him of sexually assaulting an elderly patient at a nursing home. CBS News Channel 4 reports that on April 18th at about 10:58 p.m., police were called to the Harlingen Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Texas, according to a probable cause affidavit. Police say they made contact with an employee who stated she saw Javier Cruz Gil, 19, having sexual contact with the patient without the patient's consent. According to the affidavit, the employee walked into the patient's bedroom to give him medicine when she saw Gil squatting on top of the patient. When the employee asked Gil what he was doing, he said nothing and put his pants back on, according to the affidavit. The employee later told police that Gil asked her not to say anything. After further investigation, officers arrested Gil at his home and transported him to the city jail. In a statement, Jason Rodriguez, the administrator, said Gil is no longer an employee at the Harlingen nursing home. This has been your long-term care news update. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week.